everybody. I hope you're good. I hope you're fine wherever you're watching this video from. So let's get into today's review video. Today we are reviewing this week's episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. No business like shade business. So from the trailer of last week, because after every episode they show a bit of what might come in the next episode, I thought this episode would be like epic. It would be like, more drama and stuff like that. But it didn't really deliver that much. Yeah, sadly. But I think it's building up to what's gonna happen next week's in next week's episode. So it starts with Giselle and her daughter driving, because in the past episodes we've been seeing Giselle trying to get a driving, like Giselle's daughter trying to get a driver's license, and so she finally got it. And now they go to a parking lot to go and practice how to drive and all of that stuff. And it's interesting to see, and she said something that was that's like resonated with me, is when she was like, if her father, which is Jamal, if he was around, or if he lived down the street, I would just take her there so that he teaches her how to drive and stuff like that. And like that just shows you um some of the difficulties in being a single parent, in her being a single parent, and her, you know, the father of her children not being there, and the kind of difficulties that might have, and but either way, anyways, it's a good thing that she's teaching her daughter how to drive. She's there for her child, and maybe hopefully Jamal Bryant will be there. Well, I don't know if his son name is Bryant as well, but anyways, Jamal will also, hopefully he will show up with his children, in the future. Sorry that I'm just like, okay, team, breathe. Hi everybody, I hope you're good. I hope you're well wherever you're watching this video from. So let's jump right into today's review. We are reviewing this week's episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. No business like shade business. So I was expecting a lot for this episode. I thought it would be dramatic, but it didn't give that much drama. It was quite a chilled episode, but it's building up to what's going to happen next in the next episode. So yeah, anyways, so the episode opens up with Giselle and her daughter driving, because we saw in the past episodes that she was trying to get her driver's license, which she finally got. I don't know if it's the driver's license or the driver's permit, but anyway, so she finally got that. And so Giselle is trying to help her daughter learn how to drive. And so they go to a parking space, I think, and try and set up the driving, props and stuff like that, just so she can learn how to do it. And so I'm thinking it's a driver's permit, because she has to know how to drive. Anyway, I'm not so sure. Yeah. So Giselle is teaching her that, and I mean, there's not much to talk about on that part, except there's something that she said which made me think a little bit. And she said if her father was living, nearby down the street, I would just take her to her father's house so he teaches her how to drive. And like, it made me think, because some of these, like, she has Giselle can come out as this very strong, very messy human being, and sometimes it's hard to like her, but that kind of shows you that there are struggles that she goes through, and maybe it's in this episode it didn't show as much, but just that glimpse of the fact that there are things that she wishes she could just do, but she cannot, because the father of her children is not in the same state or in the same city as she is in. That was a light moment for me. I was like, oh, like, maybe you can show a bit of sympathy towards her. She's messy though. She's very messy. And then we also have Karen and her candles. Yeah. So when Wendy pitched her idea, or when Wendy was telling Karen about her idea of candles, Karen didn't say anything. But when they went to the ceremony where she was being endorsed as an ambassador for Surrey County, she stated there that she was going to she was adding a candle line to her brand and everything. And so when Wendy heard that, it kind of caught her off guard, and I guess it caught everybody who was watching off guard, because why didn't you tell your friend that you are also pursuing the same thing? But anyways, that was her business. She didn't want to tell her. Yeah, but then she emphasizes that her candles are different from Wendy's candles, because Wendy's candles are 1 week candles and Karen's candles are 3 week candles. So I'm not well versed in candles. I think the ones that I've used have always been 1 week. So I don't know what the difference is. But anyways, that was just a bit. But I kind of liked the packaging that they came in. It looked exquisite from what I saw. And then they switch over to Wendy pitching her idea to her husband. So one of the things I didn't get about this particular part of the episode was I didn't think that she needed to dress up, and it also made me realize that I don't think I've ever seen Wendy without makeup on the show, unlike maybe the other women, some of the other women. Yeah, but like I don't think I've ever seen Wendy without makeup on the show. Not it's not a shady thing. I just thought like she's pitching an idea to her husband in their home. She didn't have to dress up for it, but anyway, she was fully dressed. She looked great. By the way, she looked great. Yeah, and anyway, so she's pitching the idea to her husband and talking about, stuff. They skipped through it, so I'm guessing it took a long time. And he looked a bit bored. That's what I saw on the screen. If you watched the episode, he looked a bit bored. But anyway, she pitched the idea to him and he asked her about the spending. How much do you want to put into this? And I don't think she was sure. The producers asked her how much she had already spent. She said she has the receipts, so she just has to compile them. And she's not sure how much she's actually spent on it. And I'm also guilty of doing that, because like there's stuff like you're starting out something or you're trying to do a project and you don't know how much you're spending so far. I think I've done that before. But anyway, so she doesn't know how much, but I guess that was the main thing. It wasn't much to talk about really. And then it also skipped okay, yeah, I think I missed the part for Mia talking to her husband about Candice and Chris's manager situation. And so she also just referred to her past when Mia and her husband were starting out, and when they were both, I think, working together, that it didn't really work out. And so I think maybe she's trying to, I think in the future episodes she might try to like talk to Candice about that. I don't know. But she was talking to her husband, saying that was a situation between Candice and her husband, because Candice's husband Chris is managing her, or in this episode or so far in the season, he's her manager. And so she was just like making a comment that it didn't work out for Mia and her husband, so I don't know like if it might work out for Candice and her husband. And this sort of will come into play later on in the episode, like when they are doing the video shoot and Chris is nowhere to be seen and all of that stuff. Yeah, because Mia does something then. We will talk about that a bit later. So, yeah. I think the other stuff that happened in the episode was like Robin talking to Juan about, what she had talked to her life coach about. So she expressed to her life coach that she felt that he wouldn't he was coaching her a bit too strongly, and she wanted a bit more of a caring side, like, yeah, you're coaching me, but then can you also be caring? Can you show me support in this time, even though like I'm trying to get my life together? Don't just give me tough love, but also support me. And so she did have that conversation with him at the warehouse that they were checking out, because one of the things that they talked about with her life coach is that she's going to um, make steps in her business. So she went to the warehouse with Juan, and whilst they were there, she brought it up, saying that I want you to not always coach me and be hard, but like also be maybe be caring and whatnot. And Juan said he would work on it. Yeah, I will leave that there. Because just I think the expression that she had on her face when he it switched to her in the, I don't know what you call those sessions when they're like talking to the cameras. Yeah, and she was like, I think he's going to actually do what I've asked him to do. And then she was silent for a bit, because then that made me think, like, did he actually do it? Or maybe he did it for a short period of time and then he went back to the norm. But anyway, so that was Robin and Juan. And then we had Candice, who went, like, her preparing for the music video and stuff like that. And yeah, it was interesting. She was trying to dance. I'm not a great dancer either. But anyway, she was, going through the practice and whatnot. And then it got to the day for the video shoot, and it seemed like everything was going well. The girls showed up for the video shoot. I think they dressed all right, because honestly, when she first asked them, I thought it was just a by the way thing. I didn't think it was as serious. But then it seemed like when it actually got to the day, they were there for the video shoot and whatnot. And they came dressed, though I don't think I think that Giselle would have dressed better for this video shoot. Not trying to say that she wasn't well dressed. I just think that it was a video shoot. The other girls dressed properly, and I think there's a more stylish way of dressing if you don't want to show too much. But I kind of feel like she came a little bit too basic. But anyways, that's just what I thought. The other girls seem to dress for the part. Wendy, Scala, I think I liked Scala's whole outfit. Just, I love her hair. She looks beautiful. So yeah, so the video shoot is where now we see the shade. I think this is the shady part of the episode, because the mom was going in. She said a lot of stuff about, well, she said some stuff about Chris and him having a side gig, him losing the job after they moved in or after they got married, how he doesn't have a job, he has a side gig and whatnot, expressing these things to some of the women. Wendy and Escala didn't want to be part of the conversation. Yeah, because that is going to be messy in the future. And I think Karen also kind of didn't want to be put in it, according to the way she expressed herself when she was talking to the cameras. But, like, the mom just kept on throwing little shady things at Chris, and I don't know. And the fact that he wasn't even there at the beginning of, like, he came late for the video shoot, and the cars were not there. They were supposed to have cars for the video shoot, but they were not there. And that was something that he was supposed to organize, but he didn't, or it fell through. Yeah. And so, when he arrived at the scene, he was kind of upset and everything, and Candice was already upset. But luckily, he didn't really just, he didn't, I mean, his presence kind of rattled her a bit, but she didn't let it take too much of her precious time with the video. What I mean is, like, if you're doing something and you're trying to, like, get a good result for it, sometimes you don't need all the drama. And I think like, that's something that he said during the episode. He was like, I don't want to go to her when they were trying to shoot the video, because they came up with an alternative. They asked some of the women to bring in their cars into the video. And so, yeah, so they kind of came up with a solution. But then, so he wasn't there for that. So he didn't want to just, come in whilst they were still shooting, because maybe it would throw her off, and, throw her off her element while she was in the video mode and everything. So yeah, I think that was about the episode. The mom saying stuff, and Mia did say something. She asked the mom whether he was getting paid and where is Chris, and just asking questions that that if Candice hears about this, she's going to get upset. And that is what we're looking for in the next episode, because next episode, Giselle invites everybody for some kind of lunch thing at her house, and it seems to be a shady lunch. I think that the title has something like that in it. So we're going to see how that goes. Is it going to be real? Like, it seems like it'll be more dramatic than this episode, which is great because we need a little bit of drama, a little bit of drama. Yeah, so that's what we're waiting for in the next episode, and I hope it will be drama. I know. I know this is people's lives and we shouldn't be wishing drama for them, but like that's why we watch these reality shows for the drama. Yeah, so I hope that you reach the end of the video, and I hope that you subscribe to the channel so that we can grow as a family and maybe, improve in certain areas. But until the next video, I hope you will be good. Bye bye.